The night was quiet, but the people of the colony could not sleep. Every sound in the forest made them jump. A crack of branches, the howl of wind, even the cry of a bird. It all reminded them of the one thing they feared most. Somewhere in the jungle, hiding in the shadows, was the alien girl and the beast that followed her. They called it a monster, a demon with glowing eyes and teeth like knives. No one dared to go near the jungle at night. Mothers pulled their children close. Men closed their doors and carried weapons inside. Fires were kept burning to push back the darkness. For years, this was how life in the colony was. Fear ruled them. And all because of one alien girl no one truly knew. Ethan arrived in the colony on such a night. He was a traveler, a human who came from far lands, looking for work and shelter. His boots were dusty, his clothes torn, but his eyes were calm. When he entered the tavern, the men drinking inside went silent. They did not know him, and strangers were not welcome after dark. One of the men leaned forward and said, "You came at a bad time, human. Stay indoors, do not walk to the jungle. If you hear the beast, cover your ears and pray." Ethan frowned. Beast? The man spat on the ground. The cursed girl's pet. It hunts at night. Many have died because of it. Ethan listened but said nothing. He ate his meal in silence, yet his mind was restless. He had traveled many places, seen many dangers, but he had never heard a story quite like this. A girl and a beast feared by all, yet unseen by him. That night, he left the tavern and walked through the colony streets. Doors were shut, windows closed tight, but the jungle at the edge of the colony seemed alive. The trees swayed though the air was still. The grass whispered though no wind touched it. The deeper he looked into the shadows, the more it felt like something was looking back. Then he saw them, two glowing eyes far apart, high above the ground. They burned like coals in the dark. A low growl rumbled across the field, making the earth tremble beneath his boots. Any other man would have run. But Ethan stood still. The sound grew louder, closer. Branches cracked as something large moved through the trees. For a moment, he thought it would burst into the open and tear him apart. His hand went to the knife at his belt, but he did not draw it. Instead, he whispered, almost to himself, "I do not fear you." The glowing eyes blinked. The growl stopped. For one strange second, there was silence again. Then, as quickly as it came, the presence faded back into the jungle. The sound of footsteps retreated, heavy yet controlled. Ethan let out a slow breath. His heart beat fast, but he felt no terror. Only curiosity. What kind of beast could look into a human's eyes and then choose to leave? Behind the trees, hidden from view, the alien girl watched. Her silver hair caught the faint light of the moon. Her pet stood beside her, muscles tense, ready to strike. But she had raised her hand and stopped it. "Strange human," she whispered to herself. "He did not run. Why did he not run?" The beast huffed, its breath steaming in the cold air. Its glowing eyes still fixed on the spot where Ethan stood. The girl placed her hand on its head and smiled faintly. For the first time in years, she felt something new. Not hatred from the colony, not fear from strangers. Something different. Interest. Back in the colony, Ethan returned to his room. The other men slept in fear, but his eyes stayed open. He had seen the shadows. He had felt the power in the jungle. And he knew this was only the beginning. Tomorrow, he promised himself, he would walk closer. He had to know the truth. Morning came with heavy clouds. The colony woke with fear still in their hearts. Children whispered about the glowing eyes in the jungle. Farmers worked quickly in the fields, always watching the tree line. The story of the beast never faded. It grew larger every day. Ethan, however, was not like the others. He rose early, his eyes searching the horizon. He wanted to see the jungle. Again, something inside him told him the story was not simple. A creature that could kill but chose to walk away? A girl who lived with it? There had to be more. At the well, two women spoke in low voices. The cursed girl was seen last night. One said, "She walks with that monster like it is her shadow. She will bring doom to us all." Another man spat in disgust. "She is not welcome here. If she comes close, we must drive her away." Ethan listened, but did not speak. Instead, he walked to the edge of the colony. The grass was damp with morning dew. The forest stood tall and dark, as if hiding secrets. He felt the same eyes on him again, watching, waiting. Then, from the trees, she appeared. The alien girl stepped into the open. Her skin was pale with a faint shimmer, almost like silver dust. Her hair flowed down, catching light like strands of moonlight. Her eyes, sharp and glowing faintly, fixed on Ethan with suspicion. She was young, but her face carried years of loneliness. Beside her, the beast moved. It was massive, taller than a man, built with muscles under dark fur. Its eyes burned with the same glow Ethan had seen the night before. Its teeth flashed as it growled low, a warning to stay back. The people of the colony saw her from a distance. A cry rose. "The cursed one!" Doors slammed shut. Farmers dropped their tools and ran. Only Ethan remained standing. The girl's voice was cold. "Do not come near. He will tear you apart." Ethan's lips curved in a faint smile. "If he wanted me dead, I would not be alive now." The beast growled louder, but Ethan took one slow step forward. His hand moved to his pack. From it, he pulled a small piece of bread. Instead of eating it himself, he placed it on the ground and stepped back. The beast's nostrils flared. The girl frowned. No human had ever dared such a thing. They always screamed, ran, or tried to kill. But this one was different. The creature sniffed the bread. With a deep rumble, it bent its massive head and ate. Ethan did not move. He simply watched. The girl's eyes widened. "Impossible," she whispered. "He has never taken food from any outsider." Ethan finally spoke. "Because I am not here to harm him. Or you." Silence hung heavy. The jungle seemed to hold its breath. The beast licked the last crumb from the ground, then lifted its glowing eyes back to Ethan. No attack came. Only a deep rumbling sound that almost resembled approval. The girl's voice trembled slightly. Why are you not afraid like the others?" Ethan's gaze was steady. "Fear blinds people. They see only a monster. I see a protector." Her heart tightened. No one had ever said such words. For years she had been cursed, hated, driven out. Yet this human spoke to her not with fear, but with respect. The colony guards arrived, shouting, "Stay away from him, cursed one." They raised their weapons, ready to attack the beast. The girl's eyes darkened, and the beast roared, the ground shaking under its fury. The guards stepped back, terrified, but Ethan raised his hand. "Stop, she has not harmed anyone." The guards looked at him like he was mad. "She is a danger," one yelled. Ethan shook his head. "The danger is your fear, not her." The girl stared at him in shock. This human, this stranger stood in front of her, defending her pet. For the first time in years, she felt the heavy wall of loneliness crack. The beast lowered its growl, watching Ethan closely. The girl whispered to herself, almost too soft to hear, "Maybe he is different." And with that, she turned and vanished back into the jungle, her pet following silently. But her heart carried something new. A spark. Ethan stood alone as the guards argued behind him. He did not chase her. He only smiled faintly and whispered, "We will meet again." The colony remained restless after the morning sight. Whispers spread quickly through every street, through every closed door. The cursed girl came close again. Her monster will destroy us all. The guards warned people not to leave their homes at night. Yet, despite their warnings, Ethan's thoughts never left the silver-haired girl and the beast beside her. That evening, as the sun bled red across the horizon, Ethan walked toward the forest again. The fields were empty, the colony silent, but the jungle weighed like a living wall of shadows. He could feel it, the same presence from before, watching, testing. He stopped near the trees and spoke into the silence. "I know you are there. I am not afraid." For a long moment, nothing answered. Then the air shifted. Leaves rustled though no wind moved. A low growl echoed between the trunks, deep and dangerous. Slowly, the beast stepped into the fading light. Its massive frame dwarfing Ethan. Its eyes glowed, its teeth shone, and the ground trembled under its heavy paws. Ethan stood still. His pulse raced, but his hand did not reach for his knife. "I told you," he whispered softly, "I don't fear you." From behind the beast, the alien girl appeared. Her silver hair glimmered faintly. Her sharp eyes narrowed with suspicion. She moved with quiet grace, yet every step was cautious. "You are foolish," she said. Her voice was calm but edged with steel. Any other man would be dead already. Ethan's gaze remained steady. "Then why am I still alive?" The girl did not answer at once. Instead, she watched her beast. The creature stood inches away from Ethan, its breath hot, its growl low. Its fangs could tear him apart in seconds. Yet strangely, it did not strike. "You fed him," she finally said. "No one has done that before." "I only gave him bread," Ethan replied. "Not fear, not hatred, just bread." Her eyes flickered with something unreadable. "He does not trust humans. He has killed those who tried to harm me. He is my protector." "And you," Ethan asked, "who protects you?" The question hit her like a blade. Her lips parted, but no answer came. For years, she had survived with only her beast beside her. No family, no friends, no welcome place in the colony. No one had ever asked who protected her. No one cared until this human dot. She stepped closer, though the beast growled at her side. "Why do you speak this way?" she demanded. "Why do you not fear us like the others?" Ethan's voice was quiet but firm. "Because fear blinds the truth." I look at him, and I see more than a monster. I see loyalty. I see love. The girl's heart twisted. No human had ever used such words before. The beast lowered its head, sniffing Ethan's hand. The growl softened, turning into a deep rumble, not of anger, but something closer to approval. The girl's eyes widened. "He accepts you." Ethan extended his hand, slow and careful. His fingers brushed against the beast's thick fur. The colony would call him mad if they saw this moment, but Ethan felt no madness, only awe. "Tell me your name," Ethan said, still stroking the creature. Girl hesitated. For so long she had been called only Cursed. A name felt like a secret too precious to share. But something in his voice broke her walls. "Lyra," she whispered. "My name is Lyra." Ethan smiled faintly. "I'm Ethan, and your friend?" She touched the beast's head gently. "His name cannot be spoken in your tongue, but to me, he is Kale." Ethan repeated softly, "Kale." The beast huffed, almost as if approving Dot for the first time. Lyra felt the cold chain of loneliness loosen around her heart. This human had not only faced her beast without fear, he had spoken to her like she mattered. But the moment shattered as distant shouts echoed from the colony. Torches moved in the darkness. Guards, they were coming. Lyra's eyes filled with panic. "Go back," she urged. "If they find you with me, they will call you cursed too." Ethan shook his head. "I don't care." She stared at him, torn between fear and something new she could not name. Then Kale growled loudly, warning of danger, and Lyra pulled back into the shadows. "Ethan," she whispered before vanishing, "do not follow tonight." And just like that, she and Kale were gone. Ethan stood alone, the shouts of the guards growing nearer. His heart pounded, not from fear, but from certainty. This was not the end. It was only the beginning. The colony was alive with fear the next day. News spread faster than fire in dry grass. Everyone whispered the same thing. The cursed girl had been seen with the traveler. Mothers clutched their children close. Men sharpened weapons. The marketplace, usually filled with noise, buzzed only with nervous talk. The human is mad. Someone spat. He stood in front of her beast like he wished to die. He is cursed now too, another said. He will bring danger on all of us. Ethan walked through the colony streets as these whispers followed him. He felt their eyes on his back, sharp as knives, but he did not lower his head. His mind replayed the night before Lyra's voice, her name, the way Kale had accepted his presence. He knew the colony did not understand. But he had seen something they refused to see. By afternoon, the guards came for him. They took him to the council hall, a tall wooden building where the elders gathered. Inside, the air was heavy, with smoke from burning herbs. The faces of the elders were stern, their eyes filled with distrust. An elder with a long gray beard spoke first. "Human traveler, we warned you. Stay away from the cursed girl. Yet you defied us." Ethan stood calmly. "She has done nothing to harm me, neither has her beast." The hall erupted with angry voices. One elder slammed his hand on the table. "Nothing to harm you? 3 of our hunters never returned from the forest. Bones were found near the trees. Who else but her monster could do this?" Ethan's voice was steady. "I have seen the truth. Kale the beast protects her. He does not attack without reason. The hunters may have met other predators. The jungle is full of them." The elders glared at him as though he had spoken. "Blasphemy." Another elder, a woman with sharp eyes, leaned forward. "You are blinded by her beauty. Do not let her trick you. She is a danger. Her presence is a curse upon us all." Ethan clenched his fists but kept his voice calm. "If she wished us dead, the colony would already be ashes. Yet she stays in the shadows. Why? Because she is not what you think." The hall fell silent for a moment. Then the gray-bearded elder's voice rose again, cold and final. "You speak like a fool. Fear is wisdom. Fear keeps us alive. We cannot trust her. And if you continue this madness, you may find yourself cast out." Ethan met their stares without flinching, then cast me out. "But I will not turn my back on the truth." Gasps filled the hall. To defy the elders was dangerous. Yet Ethan's eyes burned with conviction. That night, the colony was restless. Again, fires were lit high, torches lined the streets, and guards patrolled with weapons ready. Everyone expected the beast to strike. Every shadow seemed alive, every sound a threat. Children cried in their mother's arms. Ethan sat outside his small room, watching the stars. His thoughts wandered back to Lyra. He remembered the pain in her voice when she asked why he was not afraid. He remembered the loneliness in her eyes when she gave her name. He knew what the elders could not see. She was not their enemy. She was alone. Suddenly, screams rose from the north fields. The guards rushed with their torches. People shouted, "The beast! The beast is here!" Ethan ran with them, but when they reached the fields, his eyes caught the truth. The crops were torn, the fences broken, but it was not Kale. The attackers were smaller predators from the jungle, their bodies swift and vicious. They scattered when the torches came close, leaving blood and ruin behind. Yet the guards shouted, "It was the cursed girl's pet. It must be." Ethan's voice cut through the chaos. "No, I saw them, other predators, not Kale." But no one listened. Fear was louder than truth. The people cried for protection, and the elders vowed to tighten their watch. "If the beast comes again," they declared, "we will kill it." Ethan's heart sank. The colony's fear had blinded them completely. They were ready to destroy what they did not understand. As he stood in the dark field, Ethan whispered to himself. They will not see the truth until it is too late. I must find her again. Before they do, in the shadows of the forest, unseen, Lyra and Cale watched. Her eyes burned with anger, not at Ethan, but at the lies of the colony. She clenched her fists and whispered to her beast, "They will never accept us, but maybe he will." Cale growled softly, and for the first time in years, Lyra felt a fragile thread of hope that the forest was quiet, wrapped in silver moonlight. The colony fires burned far behind Ethan, but his steps carried him deeper into the trees. Every crunch of leaves under his boots felt louder than it should. Yet he did not stop. The words of the elders still echoed in his mind. Fear is wisdom, stay away. But Ethan believed fear was only blindness. He needed to see her again. A low growl rolled across the shadows. His body stiffened, but he did not draw his knife. "It's me," he whispered into the darkness. "I came alone." The bushes parted, and Cale emerged. The beast's glowing eyes locked onto Ethan, unblinking and fierce. Its massive chest rose and fell with each breath, teeth bared, but no strike came. Instead, Cale stepped aside. From behind him, Lyra appeared. Her silver hair shimmered like threads of moonlight, her expression unreadable. She crossed her arms, staring at him. "You are foolish. The elders warned you, yet here you stand." Ethan's lips curved in a faint smile. "I don't listen well." Her eyes narrowed, though a flicker of curiosity glowed within them. "Why risk your life? Why come back?" "Because I want to know the truth," Ethan answered. "Not the whispers, not the lies. I want to know you." Lyra's breath caught. No one had ever spoken to her like this, not as a curse, not as a danger, but as a person. She glanced at Cale, who rumbled low but stayed calm. The beast was watching her, not him. "Sit," she said at last, pointing to a fallen log. Ethan obeyed without hesitation. She remained standing, her sharp gaze never leaving his face. "You do not understand," she began, her voice heavy with memories. "The colony hates me because they do not see me. To them, I am only the cursed girl, the master of a monster. But I was not born this way." Ethan leaned forward, listening intently. "My people are gone," Lyra continued. "My village burned. Long before I reached this land. Cale found me when I was a child, crying under the ashes of my home. He was wild then, savage, but something in me. Something calmed him. Since that day, he has been my guardian. He fights to protect me, not to destroy." Her voice trembled, though she forced it steady. "Yet every death in the forest, every missing hunter, they blame on us. They never care to learn the truth." Ethan's eyes softened. "You've lived in exile all this time, alone, except for him." Her gaze dropped to the ground. "Alone," she whispered. "The only word I have ever known." Silence wrapped around them. Only the sound of crickets filled the night. Ethan's chest tightened as he watched her, saw the weight she carried. Slowly, carefully he spoke. "You are not alone tonight." Her head lifted sharply, her eyes wide. She searched his face, expecting mockery or pity, but found neither. His expression was calm, steady, and real. Cale sniffed the air, then stepped closer, brushing his massive head against Lyra's arm. It was as though the beast, too, was listening. "You protect him," Ethan said softly, "and he protects you. That is not a curse. That is loyalty. That is love." Lyra's breath shuddered. Her throat tightened, but she could not stop the warmth rising in her chest. She wanted to fight it, to push him away, yet his words pierced deeper than the colony's hatred ever could. "You will regret this," she whispered. "If you keep standing beside me, the colony will turn on you. They already whisper. They already fear." "Let them fear," Ethan replied firmly. "Fear does not decide who I trust. My eyes do." The night seemed to grow still at his words. Even Kale lowered his head, no growl, no threat. Only silence, heavy and meaningful. For the first time in years, Lyra allowed herself a small, fragile smile. It was faint, almost hidden, but it was there. "You are strange, human," she murmured. "Strange enough to believe in you," Ethan answered above them. The moon broke through the clouds, casting silver light over the three of them, man, alien girl, and beast. And in that quiet glow, a bond was born. Fragile, dangerous, but real. Yet far away, in the colony, elders plotted. They whispered plans to watch Ethan, to trap the girl, and to end the beast once and for all. Trust had been built this night. But danger was closing in. The morning sun rose red, as if the sky itself carried a warning. The colony moved with heavy purpose. Elders spoke in hushed but urgent tones. Guards sharpened blades, and hunters prepared traps. Everyone's fear had turned into something sharper: anger. "They grow bold," an elder hissed. "The cursed girl dares walk among us. Her beast dares eat from human hands. If we do nothing, soon she will live inside our walls." The others nodded grimly. "Tonight," the gray-bearded elder declared, "we end it. We will kill the beast and bind the girl. And the human who defies us will answer as well." Ethan knew none of these words as he walked again toward the forest. His heart was restless but determined. He wanted to see Lyra, to tell her she was not alone, to give her hope. But even as he stepped past the tree line, he felt something was wrong. The air smelled of smoke and iron. The silence was too heavy. Kale appeared first, his growl low and uneasy. Behind him, Lyra came into view, her silver hair tangled from running. Fear glimmered in her eyes. "They are coming," she whispered. "The colony plans to hunt us tonight. They set traps in the fields. They want Kale dead." Ethan's chest tightened. "Then we must leave. Come with me away from this place." Her lips trembled. "Where would I go?" "They will chase us wherever we run. Fear does not stop at borders." Kale growled again, louder this time, sensing the approach of danger. Ethan turned, and through the gaps in the trees, he saw torchlight. The guards were already here. "Lyra," Ethan said quickly, "listen to me. Stay behind Kale. I will speak to them." "No," she snapped, panic breaking through her calm. "They will not listen." They never listen. The torches grew brighter. The guards marched into the clearing, bows drawn, spears raised. At their lead, the gray-bearded elder's eyes burned with fury. "There," he shouted, "the cursed girl and her demon, and the traitor who protects them." Ethan stepped forward, arms raised. "Stop this madness. She is not your enemy." But his voice was drowned by the roar of Kale. The beast stood tall, shielding Lyra, teeth flashing. The guards recoiled in fear but held their ground. "Kill it." The elder screamed, arrows flew. Kale lunged, his massive body shielding Lyra from the storm of iron. Ethan's heart pounded as he dove, knocking one guard to the ground before his arrow could strike true. Chaos filled the clearing, shouts, growls, steel clashing with desperation. In the confusion, a net flew through the air. Ethan turned too late. It landed over him, ropes pulling tight. He struggled, but the weight held fast. "Ethan!" Lyra cried out, her voice raw with fear. She ran toward him, but another net shot forward, this one aimed at her. Kale roared, leaping to intercept, his claws tearing the ropes before they could bind her. But in the moment of saving her, Kale was struck. A spear cut across his side, deep and bleeding. The beast howled in pain, shaking the ground. The guards cheered in triumph, pressing forward. "No!" Ethan shouted, straining against the ropes. "Leave him. He is not your enemy." But his cries fell on deaf ears. The elders only saw victory. The guards only saw a monster weakened. They pressed harder, shouting for Kale's death. Lyra dropped to her knees beside Ethan, her hands clutching the ropes that bound him. Her eyes burned with tears and rage. "Why did you come back? Why risk yourself for me?" Ethan met her gaze, his voice firm even in pain. "Because you are not a curse. You are hope, and I will not let them destroy that." For a moment, time seemed to freeze, the beast bleeding, the girl trembling, the human bound yet unbroken. Then the torches closed in, and the night filled with screams. The elders had won the battle of fear, but in the shadows of the jungle, something greater stirred, an awakening of trust, of defiance, of love strong enough to stand against an entire colony. The clearing burned with torchlight. Ethan lay bound in ropes, Kale's deep growls echoing through the night, and Lyra stood trembling between them and the advancing guards. The colony had turned into a mob of fear. Their weapons were raised, their eyes wild, and their voices shouted the same word again and again. "Kill the beast! Kill the cursed girl!" Ethan struggled against the ropes until his wrists bled. "Stop!" he roared, his voice cracking through the chaos. "You blind yourselves with fear. She is not your enemy." But the elders ignored him. The gray-bearded leader stepped forward, his voice carrying like thunder. "This is the end of the curse. With the demon's blood, we will be free." The guards surged forward. Arrows flew, spears thrust. Kale lunged to shield Lyra once more, his massive body taking the storm of blades. His roar shook the ground, his claws tearing weapons from hands. Yet for every man he threw aside, more pressed in. His wound bled heavily, staining the earth. Lyra screamed, her voice raw. "Stop, please stop." But no one listened. Ethan's heart pounded as he fought the ropes. His mind screamed only one thought: I must save them. With a final burst of strength, he tore the ropes against a sharp rock near his side. The fibers snapped. His arms flared with pain, but he was free. He ran forward, placing himself between Lyra, Kale, and the guards. His arms spread wide. His voice thundered with all the power left in him. "Look at me," he shouted. "If you strike again, you will." "Kill me first." The guards froze. Shock rippled through the crowd. No one expected a human one of their own to shield the cursed girl and her beast. The elder's face twisted with rage. "Then you are cursed with her. You choose the side of monsters." Ethan's eyes burned with defiance. "No, I choose truth. You call Kale a monster, yet he has spared you countless times. You call Lyra cursed, yet she has harmed no one. The only curse here is your fear." His words rang through the clearing. For a moment, silence followed. Some guards wavered, their weapons lowering slightly. Doubt flickered in their eyes, but the elder shouted again. "Fear is survival. Strike them down." He raised his spear, aiming it at Kale. In that instant, everything exploded. Kale roared, charging forward with the last of his strength. Lyra cried out, running to his side. Ethan leapt, grabbing the elder's spear before it could pierce Kale's heart. The two men struggled, firelight flashing across their faces. Around them, the crowd split, some still driven by fear, others shaken by Ethan's words. Finally, with a surge of will, Ethan wrenched the spear from the elder's grip and snapped it in two. He hurled the pieces to the ground. His voice cut through the night. "This ends now." The mob froze. Kale stood panting, blood dripping, but still alive. Lyra clutched his fur, tears streaming down her face. Ethan stood tall, his chest heaving, but his eyes never wavered. One by one, the guards lowered their weapons. The fire in their eyes dimmed. Fear cracked, giving way to something else: shame. Murmurs spread. "He is right. The beast could have killed us, yet he did not. Maybe she is not cursed." The elder, red with fury, tried to shout again, but his voice faltered. He looked around and saw his power slipping away. The people no longer followed. At last, the torches lowered. The shouting ended. The night fell into heavy silence. Lyra's knees gave way, and she sank beside Kale, pressing her hands to his wounds. Ethan dropped beside them, steadying her trembling hands. Their eyes met hers full of tears, his full of unbroken resolve. "You saved us," she whispered. "No," Ethan said softly. "We saved each other." Cale rumbled low, a sound that was no longer anger, but peace. His glowing eyes met Ethan's, and for the first time, he bowed his massive head. The colony watched in silence, their fear shattered by the sight. A human, an alien girl, and a beast standing together, not as enemies, but as family. The elder turned away, defeated. The people began to scatter, leaving the clearing in uneasy quiet. Fear would not vanish overnight, but the seed of change had been planted. Under the fading torches, Lyra leaned against Ethan, her voice trembling but filled with hope. "I was alone for so long, but now I am not." Ethan placed a hand on her shoulder, his words steady. "Never again." And in the silence of the forest, with Cale at their side, they faced the uncertain future together, not as curses, but as the beginning of something stronger than fear.